Now these emotions that have been running as ragged, what actually are they? What would an emotion look like under a microscope? Now there's a neurologist called Candace Pert who's coming up with some very interesting ideas around this thinking-feeling connection. When she says the mind and the body are connected, that actually an emotion is a kind of your body's response to a thought. Of course your mind and body are connected. If you were to have an embarrassing thought, let's say, then you might blush, your body might go red, it might respond to that thought. And how it appears to work is that there's billions and billions of electrical circuits, electrical connections, which are either on or off, and they're switched on with little chemical keys that fit into things they call receptors, and these keys are called peptides, and they fit in and they open up the circuit. That's how our body works, that's how our conscious experience is created. Now what appears to happen is the thought releases some of these peptides, neurochemicals, anxious thoughts. The body produces cortisol, adrenaline, stress chemical. The body starts to respond to that, prepares itself for attack. We feel that fear as a physical response in our body. Anger chemicals released. Body responds to that. The thinking and the feelings are connected. The thoughts produce the chemicals which create the emotional experience. Now Candace Pert goes on to say that actually our thinking can make us unwell, that perhaps lots of anxious thinking might interfere with our immune system, give us something else to worry about. But clearly there's a mind-body connection here, which is perhaps why it's so difficult to think your way out of a feeling, because the very attempt to think your way out of the feeling is what's perpetuating the feeling in your body. We're never really taught how to deal with feelings. There's 4 different ways that most of us will try to manage our negative emotions. Now the first way, and this is very common in men, is to ignore them. Just take no notice of them. I'm not feeling this, pushing them down. Now I'm an Englishman, this is how I was taught to deal with feelings. Stiff upper lip and all of that. I'm not feeling this. Well, just because we're ignoring our feelings doesn't mean that they've gone away. It means that we're not aware of them. And emotions that we're not aware of are particularly destructive. It's a bad idea to ignore them. It perpetuates the pain cycle. Another way that we might try and deal with our feelings is to figure them out in our heads. This is more of a woman's trick, although men will do it too. I've got this feeling here in my chest and I've got to work out why it is. It could be this reason or that reason. Well, if Candace Pert is right, and I strongly suspect she is, then that attempt to try and analyse and understand our feelings is the very mechanism by which they're getting caught and trapped in our body. Get all your friends round to discuss your misery and see how awful you all feel. A problem shared is a problem doubled. Take my word for it. You've got a friend who's in emotional discomfort. Distract them from their distressing thinking. Be happy with them. To share their misery isn't helping them or you one little bit, it's perpetuating the cycle. The third way that we try to deal with feelings is to run from them in our heads to an imaginary future or an imaginary past that's better than now. Well, as you're already seeing, this past that's better than now makes now feel wrong and brings up other painful feelings of loss, emptiness, like something missing. And this future thinking that's better than now sets up the wanting, needing, craving, chasing impulses in our body. It's just pain on top of pain. The fourth way that many of us try to deal with our feelings is through drink or drugs. Getting drunk was always my favourite option. But as any addict will tell you, we're just adding to the pain. So we've got to find a new way to deal with our feelings. And that's what meditation offers you.